Brothers and sisters, can I have everyone's attention, please? Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon all of you. Good evening, and welcome to the event tonight. Before I go into the acknowledgements of the people, the multi-faith people we have in the room today, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land where we meet and pay my respects to the elders past and present. We have a lot of people from all different faiths today with us on a very short notice to commemorate or celebrate the lives of the people and the sacrifices a lot of people are making because of the divisiveness, aggression, terrorism and extremism which has engulfed our world. So, starting from my left, Ari, thank you very much. He's a community liaison manager from Queensland Jewish Community Services. Thank you for coming today. We've got Reverend Jeff from Logan Anglican Parish. Reverend Jeff, thank you very much for coming. We've got Reverend Yvonne from St. Paul Uniting Church, and she's the chair of Moreton Rivers Presbyterian Church. Thank you very much for coming on short notice. Reverend David Baker, who is a moderator from Uniting Church. Thank you very much for being with us today. Reverend David McGregor, who is here as well with us today. Thank you very much. We got Freya Ostopovich, who is a former member for Stratton. Freya, thank you for being here. Obviously, we got Auntie Janet Dean from Holland Park Mosque. Auntie Jenny. We've got Joe Kelly, who is the member of Greenslopes and a great supporter and a friend of the community. Thank you, Joe, for being here. We got Liz and Daryl Jones. Thank you for being here. Liz and Daryl, thank you. We got Margaret. Can't forget you. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all the support you and the Archbishop's Office provides us during the year. Thank you very much. We got Surendra Prasad from the Indian community. Thank you, Surendra. We've got Reverend Heather Griffin, who is with us as well. Thank you, Reverend. And last but not least, we've got David Ford, who is representing the Multicultural Affairs Queensland. Thank you, David, for being here. And Imam Uzair, who will address you all very shortly. Now, to quickly bring you up to date to what has occurred today, it has been said that 5 people have been murdered, killed in cold blood, shot dead in a mosque in Quebec in Canada, when 2 gunmen entered during the time of Maghrib prayer, which is the 4th prayer in the Muslim day, and have killed 5 people indiscriminately. There were 40 people who were praying in the mosque. There are quite a few who are injured. So we're here to pray for them, and we're here also to show that all the faiths can come together and stand up united, not only against the violence, but also against the violent rhetoric and the divisive rhetoric which is nowadays becoming mainstream from mainstream politicians and from presidents of certain countries. And we need to know that the world cannot go together. The human species cannot thrive and survive without collaborating with each other. We have faith, we all believe in our faith, we all adore our faith and admire our faith, but we do not hate the others who do not share with our faith, because we share a common bond of humanity. And this is why we are here. We are here to show that. We are halfway around the world, but the problems which has caused this carnage to take place, we are not immune from those problems either. Unfortunately, extremists are speaking way louder than the rest of us. And we need to claim that voice back from them. We need to come out and speak for unity, justice, equality for everyone, as stronger or even louder than the extremists are speaking. And that's why we are here. That's what we are here to do. So to go further, I'll ask Imam Uzair to come and say a few words. After that, I'll request other faith leaders to come and share a few words as well and pray for the victims of not only just this carnage, but a lot of carnages around the world where a lot of innocent people lose their lives. So please welcome Imam Uzair to say a few words and a prayer.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon everyone. I was sharing with the SBS crew a few moments ago that last year a person, he left a pig head in the front of our mosque. Many people took it very, very lightly, and they didn't speak much about it. And today when I was listening to the news, the president of the Islamic Center in Quebec, he made mention that 1 year ago, somebody left a pig head in the Islamic Center. And basically, they took it very lightly as well. And after 1 year, people developed the audacity and the courage to commit this crime. Over the Christmas holidays, myself, Brother Ali Qadri, and our team, we addressed a very important topic, and that was the topic of it is okay to say Happy Christmas. And basically, the reason why we spoke about this is because that for a few years, there were certain people that were very loud and vocal in the community that had this understanding that you cannot say Happy Christmas. Most of the Muslim community are of this understanding that you can say Happy Christmas, but they kept silent. And sometimes silence in itself is a crime. It is very important that we speak out. I thank all the different personalities that are present here tonight that are representing their faiths and representing people that believe in that faith. So the representation here tonight is very strong and it is very rich. If we can stand up together, we can defeat any kind of wrong in the world. But we have to stand together and we have to speak loud, louder than the opposition. Even nowadays in America, there are many protests. And because of the protest, Donald Trump today, he has become soft in the legislations that he made. That was on the news. I'm not much of a politician, but that's the news of today. We need to stand up, we need to speak against wrong, and we need to be united and one front. The sad thing is that when something happens, we unite. But we need to be proactive. We need to stand well before it comes. We need to have a vision that does not allow anything to happen. It has happened in Canada, and there's a possibility something can happen in this beautiful country. But if we can be proactive, we can stand together, and we can speak louder than wrong, inshallah, by the grace of Allah Almighty, we can defeat any sinister plot that is being planted in this country. We cannot blossom, we cannot flourish, and we cannot grow as a community if we do not speak against wrong. So in our communities, there are certain people that advocate for certain things that are not conducive for our country, not conducive for Australia, not even conducive to our faith, and we remain silent. That is a crime. And that's why for the last 2-3 months, myself and Brother Ali Qadri and our team, we have been very vocal. And we have been hammered. But it doesn't matter. If a person is hammered for the right cause, he will be rewarded for it. And I say to all the beautiful people that are present here from different faiths, that are representative of different faiths, and all the Muslim brothers that are here today, and the sisters, when you hear something that is wrong, don't remain silent. That is my message for tonight. Become vocal. The more vocal we become, the stronger we become. And the opposition, if I can call them opposition, they become weak. Allah Almighty allow peace, harmony, love, muhabba to spread throughout the entire world. And those people that are not conducive to this message of love, Allah Almighty soften their hearts and fill their hearts with love for humanity. Thank you very much, and God bless each one of you.
Before I invite the next speaker, I want to quickly share something which somebody wrote on my social media page. And I think it's a very important message for all the Muslims who are really devastated and are struggling to comprehend what is going on with Muslim bans, calls for Muslim bans, calls for putting tags on Muslims and so on and so forth. So please bear with me while I read this. You burn my mosque, I'll come to any closer church or temple to pray for peace, love and tolerance. You burn my mosque, I'll teach my kids how to respect your belief and faith. You burn my mosque, I will always stand for you and respect your right to worship God the way you like. You burn my mosque, but you will never plant hatred or grudge in my heart because love is my religion. So that is something somebody shared on my Facebook page. And this is not taking away from what we believe. If we believe in God, God is mercy and God is peace. And killing innocent people cannot be justified no matter what. But also, we need to make sure that the people who choose to represent us, people who are politicians, speak up when they see injustice. Yes, injustice is taking place in America. And while it's their domestic policy, it is important that we speak up here as well, that it is wrong. We need to speak up. We need to grow a spine. We cannot be quiet. We need to speak up. And if they don't speak up, we should show them our numbers that Australians want them to speak up against the calls of injustice. The people of Jewish faith are well aware of what happened 100 years ago when majority of the politicians stay silent or stay quiet. I was watching a documentary on the Holocaust, and one of the things which shocked me is that during the rise of Hitler in Germany, there was a magazine about house and gardens in UK which did a cover piece on how beautiful Hitler's house was. And that is the shame. That is the shame which led to, and that magazine is responsible for what happened to Jewish people. And today we are seeing the parallels. We are seeing what's happening. We are seeing people celebrating and being quiet when extremists are using the political offices to say and spew their hatred because they think they're going to win 1 or 2 votes here and there. And we need to stand up firm against that. So with that, can I please invite a very good friend of mine, Reverend David Baker, to please come up and say a few words.
Good evening. I bring you greetings from the Synod of Queensland of the Uniting Church. And I come tonight with other ministers and representatives of our church to say we stand with you, to say to you we have a sense of your feelings for what's happened to your brethren in Canada. And we're here tonight to say we're here with you and we're here to stand with you. For us on Sunday, we read in our readings of our scriptures the beginning of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. And in that, he turned the assumptions of the powerful on their head, because he said, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are those who pursue justice. They shall be called the sons of God. Blessed are those who are merciful. They shall receive mercy. Blessed are the peacemakers. They shall be called the children of God. Blessed are the pure in heart. They shall see God." So we hear this message on Sunday, and it is that message that speaks to all of us and calls us out of our hearts from fear, from the seduction of success, to understand the truth that our life is shared with one another, and our wealth, our prosperity, our happiness is in our love and our support for one another. I guess tomorrow I'll be speaking and sharing with messages with my church, and it's in my mind to call my church to read again the letter, Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail, which addresses the issue of, our conservatism and our fear to stand up, and our anxiety to actually come and stand in the place to say what is true. And Martin Luther King called on his brothers and sisters in the faith in America in the 1960s to say, it's time for you to stand. It's time for you to speak. So I think it's a meditation for us in the Christian church at this time to read again our own prophets and to hear them call us to a greater courage and a greater solidarity. Thank you for having us with you tonight.
Thank you, Reverend David. I would also like to thank Joe Kelly and Freya. They represent different political parties, but they are here today united as human beings, united Australians and Queenslanders. I do know that Joe needs to leave, so Joe, if you could please come up and share a few words with us as a local member of Greenslopes. Joe Kelly, please welcome me.
Peace be with you all. It's been a troubling day again in the world. Yesterday I flicked on the news and I heard about a town in the United States, in the state of Georgia, I think it was, where the mayor and the chief of police apologised and took responsibility on behalf of the town for a lynching of an African American man who was dragged from a prison cell, dragged through the streets and hung. Never convicted, never faced a court, but suffered the indignity of mob justice. So that is the United States that I would hope that we can come back to. They made terrible mistakes, but they are a country that acknowledged those mistakes and were able to find a better way forward. And we need to hope and pray that they can do that again. I started today with great hope in my heart. I was at the Mount Gravatt State High School leadership induction, and one young man gave an incredibly inspiring speech. And he effectively said that the thing that he loved most about his school wasn't that it created uniformity, wasn't that it got rid of the differences between students, but in fact it celebrated the differences between students. It celebrated and it gave them the confidence to be different and to understand each other's differences, and the school and our entire community becomes richer because of that. So we cannot be afraid of diversity. We cannot hide from the fact that we have different beliefs and different values. We have to celebrate that. Of course, all that hope goes out the window when a few hours later, filled with that joy and that hope from a young person so insightful and inspiring, that somebody else commits a terrible and heinous crime. Who cares what the motivation? But a terrible and heinous crime. But I think it would be a tragedy if we lose our hope, and if we lose what the Imam says is that ability to be louder than wrong. I think that would be a terrible tragedy. So for me tonight, I felt a great obligation and a great need and a great desire to come here and be with members of my community. And it fills me with great hope that so many people will come together and start the process of being louder than wrong. Thank you very much.
Can I now please invite Ari from Queensland Jewish Community Services to come and share a few words, please, Ari.
Shalom Aleichem. In situations like this, I get a lot in our community. When I walk into the room where people have passed away and the families there, I wish I had the words to take away the pain. And I don't. I don't have those words. But we look back at the lives the people led, the things that they've left behind, and the positive things that they've done to the world, and that gives us hope. In Judaism, Hillel the Elder, one of our greatest sages, said, "What is hateful to you, don't do to anyone else." That's it. The rest is commentary. Go and learn it. That's very, very restricting in how one behaves, how one does things, how one carries on one's life, because it means respect for the other people. And that respect is very, very, very hard to do, because everybody is these days is I want this, I want that. So we've got to sort of try and get rid of that. Up until today, houses of worship were a place of sanctuary. In Queensland, we had a movement, sanctuary movement for refugees, that if any refugees were threatened with deportation, they could come and be safe in a house of worship. These people, and that's a very loose term I use, who committed this atrocity have now destroyed that in Quebec, in Canada. Canada and Australia are very, very, very close, and it now gives me great fear for what can happen in this country. My reaction to this is not to retreat. Don't go back into my bunker. Don't sort of pull the lid down and say the rest of the world is out there trying to get me, they hate us, whatever. As a Jewish person who works in interfaith, my job is now to get out there and go further. The mosque here has open days. We have the Queensland Forum of Christian Jews and Muslims. In Queensland, we learn about the days of Cordoba, where Christians, Jews and Muslims live together in harmony. In the future, they're going to talk about the days of Queensland. We're here in Queensland, the supposedly redneck state of Queensland, of Australia, has got so many interfaith organisations happening. We have so much interfaith understanding, love going on. It is just amazing. Ramadan has now reached the stage where I don't fast, but I do diet severely because I get invited to so many iftar dinners. And people don't believe me. Yes, I did have lunch. I'm not that hungry. Please eat more. So the hospitality, the love, the feelings that we get from the mosque, from the brothers, the sisters, our dear Aunt Janet, who's rang me up this afternoon and said, "You will be there." Yes, ma'am, I'm coming. That we have these relationships that we can call upon each other in times of crisis to get things happening, I think is important. And I think those communication channels have to stay open. We have to be seen. All these, I'm very aware there's a microphone over me at the moment, but a lot of these events that we go to are not publicised. They don't make the headlines. They don't make the news. They don't make anything. I sat in South Bank with an imam one Australia Day, and he's dressed in traditional robes. I'm in a suit. I'm obviously Jewish. He's obviously Muslim. And he said to me, "Ari, why are all the reporters just walking past us? Not one person has taken a photo of us." And I said, "Imam, we're not news. We're good news." I said, "If you want to have photographs taken, you stand up and say in Arabic, 'My mother makes better hummus than yours.'" And I was replying in Hebrew, "No, my mother makes better hummus than yours." I said, "You'll be blinded by the flashes, and the news won't be interfaith discussion. It will be Rabbi and Imam, Ma, Australia Day celebrations." And that's what we're dealing with. We have this thing that people have this concept that we can't sit in the same room together, sit down, talk, chat, and be friends because of the press putting out this feeling that we're all mad, crazy religious people. So that is what from today I get, is that we have to stand up, we have to redouble our efforts, we have to be out there, we have to be seen, and we have to be nice to other people that you normally wouldn't want to be nice to, but they're the ones that they vote for people like the American president. So, from the God of Abraham, may he grant you peace, may he grant you prosperity, and may he grant us all success. Amen.
Thank you, Ari. Can I now please invite Margaret Nayland? She's Executive Officer from the Archbishop's Office. Thank you very much. Catholic Archbishop.
Thank you, Ali, and thank you very much for the invitation tonight. I think David Baker has expressed beautifully the Christian perspective on our feelings, but can I just bring a message on behalf of Archbishop Mark Coleridge and the Catholic people of Brisbane to say we give you our sympathy, our support. We recognise how important interfaith relations is. We are all brothers and sisters. We all have so much to contribute to Australian society because we are all Australians, and therefore we need to stand up and work together. Ari was talking about the number of interfaith activities that are around. We're attempting to bring together the Queensland Faith Communities Council, which hopefully will be a coordinating body for all of those interfaith things. So we look forward to a great deal of hope and encouragement to what that might do in the future. But know that we are with you now, and we pray for those who have died, for those who have been injured, and for their families. Thank you.
Ari briefly touched on Andalus, and he prayed that Queensland may become the Andalus of future, inshallah, where Jews, Muslims and Christians can live together. But also, the good thing and the new thing about the new Andalus would be that we would have other religions like Hinduism and Buddhism, which will also become part of this beautiful country. So with that, I would like to invite Surendra Prasad from the Indian Hindu community to come and say a few words.
त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगंधि पुष्टि वर्धनम उर्वारुकमी वबंदनात् मृत्युमुक्ष्या मामृतात्. The tragic news we Indian communities had, they were shocked that it happened in Canada, the most multicultural country. It is shocking. I believe that what Imamji have said earlier, that we all should unite and fight towards this unseen tragedies that are happening in the world. If we not unite, it will never ever happen. We can stop that. Look at it, America. Now, there was, Trump made some statements, and now he's slowing down on those statements he made because of the power. We have the power. The communities we got the power. We got to use that. Otherwise, it will not work. We have to work together. All the religion leaders should work together. This is how we can tackle this sort of thing happening in the world. It looks to me that it's not safe to live in this world anymore. And how can we tackle this? The only way we can, by working together. It is very sad to see that innocent people are killed. Innocent people are killed. And I like to pray to Almighty God to bless them and bless their families and give families strength to overcome their griefs. Thank you.
Look, for the guests, this will be the last speech. After that, we have dinner for the guests. So we've organized dinner. And for the Muslim brothers and sisters, the prayer will be at the normal time. And inshallah, after Isha, there will be dinner as usual. So this was usually a program where Imam Uzair does interpretation of Quran. And just to give you an example of the depth he goes to, it has been 8 years since he's been doing this program, and he's only at the 11th chapter. So it's the longest lasting, unbroken program of religious teaching and education in Queensland. I think a lot of credit goes to Imam Uzair and his dedication to this program and the congregation which attends every Monday without fail. So please. And with that, I'd quickly like to invite the last speaker for tonight, David Ford. If you could please come and don't be shy. Please come and say a few words, David.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings and peace to everyone. I'll just be very brief because I don't want to repeat what our religious leaders have already said and Ali has said. But I think a huge, if you like, congratulations to Ali and Imam Uzair and Holland Park Mosque on the initiative of bringing everybody together. Because as has been said before, you know, we need inclusion, we need people to speak up, and to use Imam Uzair's words, when the opposition speaks, we need good voices to speak up and people of goodwill. And I guess that comes from where we are in Multicultural Affairs Queensland, where we speak about inclusion, about acceptance. It's about social inclusion and peace and making sure that everybody feels that they belong here, regardless of whether they were born here, born overseas, whatever their faith may be. It's about treating everyone as one, as equals. So Ali, thank you.
And this is why among Muslim circles, David is also known as Dawood. But with that, look, I'd request our guests to stay back. And we need some Muslim volunteers, brothers and sisters, to come and help feed our guests. You're not only just, we don't only open our hearts, but also our homes and our mosques and our food. So this food which is being cooked today is cooked by the president of the mosque, Uncle Sher Khan. If you could please stand up and get acknowledged for cooking the food. and he's taken time off his work to cook this food, so prepare the meal in the mosque, and inshallah, hopefully everybody will enjoy. So we'll conclude the program by, again, inviting Imam Hussein for a quick dua, and then a conclusion of the program. We'll do the dinner here for the guests.
Inshallah, we will make a dua for all those people that have lost their life, and Allah Almighty grant their souls eternal peace. The family that have been left behind, Allah grant them sabr jameel. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wal aqibatu lil muttaqeen was salatu was salamu ala rasulihil kareem. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. O Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, the most kind, forgive all our shortcomings. Ya Allah, you are the controller of each heart. Fill each heart with your love, with your recognition. Ya Allah, you are the guider. Guide each one of us to the effort of faith. Guide us to the orchards of good deeds. Ya Allah, protect us from committing our body to anything that is wrong. Ya Allah, unite humanity on the platform of love, on the platform of peace, on the platform of unity. Ya Allah, all those people that have sinister agendas, Ya Allah, clean their heart from that. Ya Allah, fill their heart with the love of humanity. Ya Allah, Ya Arhamar Rahimeen, before we pass away, allow us to attain your pleasure. Allow us to attain your grace. Ya Allah, all those brothers and sisters that have passed away, Ya Allah, shower your mercy upon them, pardon them and forgive them, and fill their grave with light. Ya Allah, all the family members that have been left behind, Ya Allah, Ya Arhamur Rahibeen, grant them sabr, grant them patience. Ya Allah, Ya Arhamur Rahimeen, on this beautiful moment, we have so many beautiful people here. Whatever we have asked for, if it is favorable, Ya Allah, grant it to us. If it is not favorable, grant that is favorable. Oh Allah, if we have asked for something that we should not ask for, Ya Allah, pardon us. If there's something that we should ask for that we have not asked for, Ya Allah, grant it to each one of us. Accept all our supplications, fulfill all our permissible needs, safeguard us from all kinds and all levels of worry and anxiety. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. MashaAllah.
So to the members of the congregation, if you guys want to come and say salam, hello, good evening to the guests, you can do so. And the guests, please stay back. We will have dinner inshallah soon. Thank you very much.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.